link into the US or into Russia, and even Australian Aboriginal people as well, because a lot of the sites in Australia are in Northern Australia and Indigenous managed land.
The question that people want to know is, why did the bird make this extraordinary trip? How can this tiny bird prefer to make this great thing, a journey previously thought possible only by aircraft, which stretch no rest, no sleep, they can't swim, they're tiny.
Yep.
They're totally
it's been a process of evolution, and the birds have kept going to the north and then retreating to the south to avoid the winter. And over thousands of years, that's developed some extraordinary migration flights. The southern waters are very productive waters, with the upwelling of cold water near New Zealand, Australia, and so this is very productive habitat for the birds to go to. And there's real advantages. They have been able to now feed up sufficiently to make the flight non-stop to China and the non-stop flight back.
But the chicks are young. Keith says only 14 weeks.
Works for them. It's working for them.
He has a theory, which he confesses is no more than that it's actually safer. No pathogens, no predators, and a big reward, a great bounty, no competition.
Well, yeah, those are the pressures that have driven the evolution of the species into these migration strategies. Yeah.
I have an idea in my head for doing this. And Lee, when she came down, Lee Tippett, looked at that and said, she reminded us that aircraft are modelled on birds, mimicked on birds. Yep. And she says the Godwit is the perfect aerodynamic profile for the most modern of fighter aircraft. And flying up here, you look at what they have now, the flight paths, the journey, distance from destination, weather conditions, temperature, and in many ways, the voyage of a Godwit could be susceptible to exactly the same kind of calculation. They see the same thing.
Yeah.
They navigate by the stars.
Yeah.
They're worried about the weather and the next destination, how much fuel they've got, where's the closest place to land, all that kind of chat. So one of my ideas is to do just that, but to make it funny as well. And so when you have them taking off, they call for takeoff. You hear the control tower coming on. Or as Adrian says, you are on the right course for your destination. You head north for 7,000 kilometers, and your destination will be on your left. So mixing it up in that kind of way is not too much of a stretch.
Yeah, we have. Now we're moving into satellite tracking. We're starting to see what happens, and so from northwest Australia through to Indonesia, and we're seeing birds usually making quite a direct route towards their destination. But at the same time, we have tropical cyclones at that time of year coming and moving through the system like this, and you'll see the track go up, and then the birds going like this. So really showing that they can't. They're now committed. They are way out to sea, and they just really have to move with the system. And that, whereas if they hadn't had the system, they may have got to southern China or even to Shanghai, and now they have to land in Indonesia, and maybe they'll miss the whole migration. Maybe they won't be able to feed up enough, or maybe they'll only get up as far as northern China and won't go on to the breeding season.
And that comes back home.
And then come back south again
next time
with the as the season changes, because that's not the weight out of them, and they can't recover, and physiologically as well that will cause problems, and with their ability to they can't just go back down and feed up enough in order to rapidly continue on the migration, but it's probably also affected their hormones as well. So it's possibly turned off their reproductive system as well, because they've had to fight so hard through the storm and then have to land and feed up.
Jesse down in Adrian says that he's now got such a close analysis of the birds there that he can schedule them by the day. He's kept them so tightly recorded that each bird has its own schedule.
Yes. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, no, not really. They they're all individuals. So it's just really about people understanding that if you like, animals have personalities. They are individuals, and they have their own strategies of how they deal with life.
Wow. So it is the greatest flight in nature?
Well, you can call it that, yeah.
What would you call it?
Well, I don't like to call something the greatest.
No.
You see, and so,
long haul champion is what Keith said.
Yeah. Well, that works well. Yeah. But some of the turns, the turns can do other. They have other options. So, yeah. I'm just not an absolutist.
And you're a scientist.
Yes, I'm a scientist, but I'm a practical scientist. So I haven't stayed. I'm not a research scientist. I'm out there seeking to apply our knowledge about science and ecology.
So you're an Australian scientist?
Yeah.
From where?
I'm originally from Western Australia, and then my university, Murdoch University in Perth.
Not many Godwits there?
Yeah, there's some Godwits. We used to have about 50 on the Swan River, 40 years ago.
Bar-tailed?
Bar-tailed Godwits, yeah. But a lot less now. Now there may only be 10 or so. And further south, Peel Inlet, there's 50 or more. So smaller numbers around the south.
Oh, they're smart birds. They come to New Zealand, don't they?
Yes, well, that's New Zealand always giving us a hard time about that. But once they find New Zealand, they keep coming back. As the story goes.